Let's talk about Mayweather, Pacquiao, and the blood, and the steroids, and the accusations, and the drama, and the sidetrack, and the excuse, the head games, the gamesmanship, the posturing, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's happening. It's happening. The frustration of fight fans. It's like these greedy motherfuckers. It's just fight. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think that this all stems from Floyd Mayweather Sr. And he's said it before. In Manhattan, got beat. And like, well, how could this little guy come up? Roger Mayweather's said it. And it's like I'm surprised that there hasn't been any kind of Pacquiao's attorney or something get in the mix and say, hey, this is
BS.
Slander. It's like cease and desist. I mean, and to say that you've got to have the test that everyone else are given right now is not adequate enough, and it's like, well, what's going?
Well, they want to test blood. Urine isn't going to pick up the HGH, the human growth hormone.
Right.
You got to use blood. That stuff. It's hard to detect. So if you test 2 months before, you could take it, and then you could stop taking it, and then test afterwards. Well, it's not going to show.
Right.
So if they do it random, it's probably more head games. But I mean, what's Pacquiao going to do? Pass up on the biggest fight ever and the biggest payday because he doesn't want to do a random drug test? How's that going to look? Well, so he's in a tough spot.
Well, again,
ultimately, money talks. He's going to have to do it. Should he have to do it? Not really, but if he doesn't do it and the fight doesn't happen, it's going to be on him. You don't want to do a random drug test.
But is it going to be on him because Mayweather's the one who brought it all up?
Well, it's Olympic-style drug testing.
Well,
it's
I know, but
legit as it gets.
But this has never ever happened or been requested by one boxer or another boxer.
Well, there's never been a boxer come up from 112 that's been able to do what he's done.
You're taking someone's character and you're taking their achievements and you're saying there could be something that has caused something outside of the normal that's caused that success. And that's a real big.
Well, I don't think Pacquiao's taking anything. Honestly, I don't think he's taking anything. I think he has an issue with needles and drawing blood. But you know what? When someone accuses you, in a sense, saying, if you're clean, then what's the big deal? Mm-hmm. Then just take it. I'll take it too. I don't want to take it. Well, now there's a question mark. Because if there wasn't, then there would be no issue, and we wouldn't even be talking about it. Who's going to fight if he doesn't fight Mayweather?
I'll tell you what. If they don't fight,
hopefully he fights Mosley and
if you don't fight, who do you think is going to make more money in the next fight?
But I don't know who Pacquiao would fight.
Pacquiao will fight. He'll fight. Well,
he'd have to fight the winner of Mosley and Berto. That would be the next big fight for either one of these guys.
That would be what we'd want them to fight. But there's talk about him fighting Malajnaji. There's talk about him fighting Foreman.
No money in those fights. This is zero compared to this.
Well,
he's got to fight Mayweather.
But he will get the money that Mayweather won't, because Mayweather, let's say he fights. I mean, he would really fight more of a tomato can than Pacquiao would, in my opinion.
Mayweather probably fight like Cotto or somebody. Just to compare, hey, you fought this guy, here's what happened when you fought him, like against Marquez, I dominated.
So who makes more money, Mayweather against Cotto or Cotto against Pacquiao? And how many more buys? People are going to pay more to see Pacquiao. I mean, it's proven. And Mayweather, by doing this and risking them to just say, hey, look, we'll make more money fighting, less money than fighting you, but we'll make more money, than you would.
Think the fight's going to happen in March?
I right now think
that's kind of a big question.
I think the fight is going to happen in March.
Okay.
And I think that
they're going to blood test probably up to 2 weeks before the fight.
Well, I think what they've said is we'll do a blood test, we'll do random urine tests throughout, we'll do a blood test right after the fight, we'll do a blood test
2 months before. That's not going to fly.
No. Like I want to say like the
January,
the week of the weigh-in, and then one of in January. So I don't,
if they do a week of the weigh-in, that's fine.
I just can't.
But they haven't committed to that. Yeah. They don't want to do it. They said they'd do it at in January, and urine test throughout, and then a blood test and urine test after the fight.
Let's be real here. If let's say that steroids is more common in boxing.
Well, HGH isn't steroids.
Well, okay,
it's separate.
Whatever. Let's say illegal shit.
Your body makes it naturally.
Let's say illegal shit. HGH.
It's hard to detect.
Steroids.
Very hard to detect.
Let's just say though, okay, that it's much more common in boxing than we think. Okay, and because it's so hard to detect.
It's common in all sports.
In all sports, okay. Well, then wouldn't we see a guy kind of go, wow, there's a guy coming up from this division. Now he's coming up from this division, or he's just kicking everyone's ass, and then it's like, wouldn't we say, how is that happening? And and wouldn't there be some concern or some speculation? It's like, there's guys out there that are successful, but they're not that much more successful than everyone else that may be taking it or maybe not be taking it. Mm-hmm. So again, I think that Pacquiao stands out not because he's maybe juicing. Let's say if he is juicing, I don't think that's going to make him that much better of a guy to come up and do the things that he's done in the last 24 months. So again,
it's like a performance enhancer. I mean, look at Barry Bonds. You got to be able to hit the ball to hit it out. Mm-hmm. He was able to hit it. He had more home runs, but now his record's tainted. Mm-hmm. I mean, being buff doesn't mean you're going to hit a fastball. But your coordination. So it's just you're more likely to hit more out. You're more likely to dominate around every round.
Right, but I'm saying, let's take that example, and let's say that okay, Barry Bonds was juicing, but there was a lot of guys juicing in that time.
Right, but there's only one guy that's the best. So the best gets the most light shine down.
He gets the, I mean.
And he has the record too, the most home runs. Now maybe he does it. Pacquiao's trying to win 7 titles at 7 different weight classes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The more you accomplish, the more likely you could be cheating. Again, I don't think either one of us think he's taking anything.
I don't think so either.
I think he's more squirmish about needles. And Mayweather knows it, so he throws it out there. And now, if he doesn't get tested, now it's like, why don't you want to get a little blood drawn? You're going to pass up $30 million because you don't want to get a needle put in your arm for 2 minutes? I mean, that just doesn't add up. It just doesn't.
Maybe Mayweather says, hey, look, I'm thinking that I can milk this and have this fight fall out and fight somebody like who? Like
no one wants it. There's
Cintron or Claudy or
Claudy's tough,
or Mosley or Berto or something like that.
Those guys are tough.
And those would be lesser of an easier fight in his mind. And then he may, instead of making, let's say, $25 million with Pacquiao, maybe he would make 10 against those guys. Remains undefeated, and then he says, well, and then then I can get 40 million or 25 million plus more than I would have made fighting Pacquiao the first time in March. Maybe we set that up, and maybe maybe he's doing that.
Well, obviously Mayweather's draw is he's U.S. and he's undefeated. Mm-hmm. As long as he's undefeated, he's going to have the draw. If he fights Pacquiao and he loses, his next fight's not going to be that big of a draw. Because now he's lost and he's just a regular schmuck.
I think he's a head case, man.
I think he's smart. I think he only takes fights he knows he's going to win.
Yeah.
So
you think, but he took this fight and he knows he's going to win, but so you think he really...
I think he's playing games. Now Pacquiao's got to deal with him and his camp. What's going to do, he's going to do it. Now it's... Mayweather just throws out a fucking mess over to Pacquiao, and now Pacquiao's got to not focus on this, but focus on how am I going to respond to this. I don't want to do it, but if I don't do it, then it looks like I'm doing something wrong. Now I'm spending time not focusing on a fight that's 3 months away. I'm spending time doing bullshit.
Right, and you know what? And most guys, I think, would throw them off their game. They're not going to hit the big shot at the end of the game. But I think that Pacquiao, what it does is it sharpens the focus. It pumps up the intensity. It's personal now, baby. And I think that that Floyd's going to get creamed more than he would have in this fight because of it. I think he shouldn't have done that, and I mean, we'll see.
It's going to be good.
Maybe another injury will come up if Pacquiao says, "Okay, I'll do everything." Maybe there'll be an injury. We'll see. What do you guys think about all this mess? Just fucking fight, huh? I mean, is that how it boils down to, or is everyone thinking, yeah? I knew that guy was juicing. There's no way that he could have done that. Or does everyone think that hey, this is just unsportsmanlike of Mayweather? Or do you think that, hey, that's a pretty good move?
I think it's a pretty good move.
Throw him off his game?
I think so.
I think it's a move. I just think,
And it probably won't throw him off.
I think it's maybe a good move in the short term if you're talking about strategy and really fighting. I think it's a bad move once he gets in the ring. So
Yeah.
let us know what you think.